Where I come from, people that look like me don't often go to college. It's usually not because they don't want to go to college, they're just often not afforded the opportunity or the resources. Graduating high school was it, that they did the big thing. I knew that I wanted to go to college early on when I learned that to be an educator, you had to have some type of college experience. Regardless of how hard it was going to be, I knew that college was something that I wanted to make happen. I didn't know the process of how I was going to get to college. My name is Joe Quinn Griffin. I grew up in Benton Harbor, Michigan. It's pretty rough. It's not a lot of jobs. It's not a lot of anything really for the people and the citizens of Benton Harbor. I hear about young students just ending their lives early just because they don't have really any guidance on what life should be for them. They don't see a light and a bright future for themselves. Those people who do graduate and they tend to stick around Benton Harbor. If you were to walk down the street in my neighborhood, every other house is abandoned, condemning, or sidewalks that are uneven, grass that doesn't even exist anymore. You don't see a positive energy often. As many people know, Flint, Michigan recently had a big water crisis that's still kind of ongoing. But a lot of people really don't know that Benton Harbor actually is experiencing a very similar crisis where oftentimes people have to boil their water before using it. You can't bathe in it safely. You can't wash your hands with it safely. You can't cook with it safely. You can't even drink the water in Benton Harbor. Growing up, I was primarily raised by my grandmother, and I would live on and off with my mom. My dad often wasn't in the house or wasn't a key role in my development growing up. My mom, she did the best she could as a young mother, but often it wasn't that apparent to me until I became older and understood that she was, still learning how to be a mother. Home was Granny Joyce's house. Being there, you knew that you were gonna smell the cinnamon when you walked in. You knew that she's gonna come around the corner with the house coat on. It might have a hole in it. And everybody knew that she was the queen of the house. What she said went. You knew that if you left something out, you need to put it up before she come around. Grandma Joyce, she created a family that kind of knew that whatever they needed, she would be there in any circumstance. And she's always going to be there to support you and also going to let you know when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. My grandma Joyce was a big encouragement to pursue an education. She was always big on me going to school while I was in Benton Harbor, and then college was another thing. She made sure she was here for my graduation. She made sure she was there when I moved into college. She understood that the people who made the decision or the people who were ultimately successful were the people who had an education. I moved to Indianapolis at the end of my 6th grade year. My grandmother moved here, and it was a great opportunity for me to kind of get away from Benton Harbor and have a world of new opportunities. During College Go Week in middle school, it was a week where we were educated about college. We were able to show off the different colleges and teams that we like, the universities, and being a first generation student, I didn't really have a lot of things college laying around the house. I had one cream and crimson shirt that was IU. I wore that shirt, and from that moment, I was the biggest IU fan, and I was gonna go to IU, even when I didn't know much about IU. in 2018, at a friend's gathering, my mom was actually hit by a stray bullet, and she was killed. It affected me in a way that I kind of didn't know how to feel. I didn't know how to feel about the situation. It was a very traumatic situation, and a sad situation, but more so, I knew that I needed to be there for my two siblings from my mom, and I know I needed to keep going. Upon her death, her friends would tell me how much she bragged about me, how much she talked about me, and that pushed me to go further and continue to do the things that I knew she would be proud of me doing. And I took the time to kind of self-reflect and kind of grieve and get rid of any resentment or anything I had, because I knew that the connection that she and I had built in my older life was the best thing that we had together. While attempting to go to college, I think the other students who happened to not be first generation students had an advantage in the fact that they had somebody to guide them through the process and help them figure out the different things and make the right decisions as far as going to college and applying and being ready and prepared to go to college. The hardest thing in my journey of getting to college was filling out the FAFSA form. So living with neither parent, and by the time I filled out the FAFSA, I was filing my own income tax. It was the most confusing thing ever, and I thought it was going to stop me from going to college, actually. When I learned that I was accepted into Indiana University, it was a good day, because I knew it was one of the best schools in the state. I knew that it had a great medical program, and I was interested in medicine, and it was a very rewarding feeling that a prestigious institution accepted me. Moving in was very unique for me. A lot of peoples that lived in my dorm, their families went to IU, their parents went to IU, or they had college experience, and they, helped them move in and get their room set up and made sure they were kind of okay on that send off. Versus, my family were happy to get me there, happy I was there. But it was, ended up just being me moving my things, sorting my room out and kind of figuring that out. Coming to IU it's been rewarding. I've been able to accomplish and do things that I love to do, and create opportunities for other people to do things as well. And that's been a very rewarding feeling. I believe coming here was one of the best decisions for me. At IU currently, I'm involved in the Group Scholars Program. I'm involved in student government. I work with the Office of Student Conduct. I am a groups leads mentor, and I help advise a few campus organizations. And I'm a member of the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is a strong passion of mine. I love being involved in DEI initiatives and creating DEI initiatives for students around campus and just in the community. I've been the director of diversity, equity, and inclusion for the student body at IU. I sit on a few different boards, the Chief Advisory Board for Indiana University Police Department. I work with the Dean of Students on his Diversity Council, and I've been able to create a big Black Lives Matter mural on campus that just speaks to the intersectionality that diversity, equity, and inclusion brings. I have two businesses. I have Crack Snacks LLC, which is a gourmet dessert business where I specialize in unique desserts, different cheesecakes. One of my hottest items right now is my churro cheesecakes, served with chocolate covered strawberries, cinnamon roll waffles, all those different type of things. And I have Griffin Marketing and Management. It's a social enterprise for entrepreneurs, and we range in services from helping with business plans to financial analysis to websites and logos. I think going to college, particularly at IU, will impact my future in many ways, but I think most importantly, having an IU degree speaks very highly, and having the network of alumni from IU is also very important and very it's very close knit. Working at the IU Foundation, I was able to work with a bunch of the alumni and people who are connected still with IU, and it's just it made me feel like I was supposed to be here, and I made the right decision. The fact that I experienced college and finished a degree will allow my family to no longer be first generation. So by the time I have children, it would be so much easier for that transition for them, just because me as an engaged parent will make sure that those things are taken care of and they have the tips and the different things to make them successful with that transition to college from high school. Being the person in my family to be revolutionary in the fact that I'm changing the legacy and making a difference in not only my family's lives, but my community's lives. All the young children in Ben Harbor who kind of look up to me or are inspired by the things I'm doing. It feels very good to know that the generations and the people to come after me won't have to walk the same path that I walked or go through the same struggles that I went through when it comes to receiving an education. Sky's the limit, and I'm gonna achieve everything that I wanna achieve and that I put my mind to.